So we have to build this dialog box right now. And basically what we want it to look like is like this. And so we need to have this here, we need to have this here, we want to have OK and cancel. And when OK is clicked, we want to be able to respond properly. So that's this part here. Okay, but we have to build that dialog box. So he says how to build a real message box. Our goal is to implement customer deletion along with a fully featured message box to let our user confirm deletion. Unfortunately, our message box skills are not up to it, so in other words, we have to learn how to do it now. To do this, we need to know more about the message box type. As we know, MessageBox supports display of information to users, warnings, error messages, informative messages, collecting information regarding a simple choice, a button click. We have already used simple message boxes quite a bit to display messages via MessageBox.show. As we will see, show takes various parameters which we haven't used. All we've used is the first parameter where we put in some text, but actually it takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 parameters. So he says there's an icon parameter, which is the fourth one. So he says let's look at that. So you can decide which icon you want to be here. That's the fourth parameter here. Okay, next, selecting the display button. So you can have abort, retry, ignore. Shows abort and retry and ignore buttons, but we don't want that. You can have OK, just display an OK button. You can have OK cancel. You can have retry cancel. You can have yes no. You can have yes no cancel. Okay, so he says that occurs in the third parameter of the message box. And you can't read this, but information about which is clicked will be returned to the call point. So whatever the user clicks will then be returned to the call point where that message box arose in your code. Okay, setting the default button, that just means like here, you can see the little blue line around this. This is the default button. So you can choose whether when they hit the enter key, this is the one that goes or this is the one that goes. And you can read about this here. He says this is specified in the fifth parameter. So we say MessageBox.show. We put the text, caption, the buttons, the icon, and the default button. Among these parameters, text is a string or string variable. Caption is also a string or string variable. Buttons represent the MessageBox button enumeration. Icon, MessageBox button icons enumeration. By the way, enumeration here, we didn't really cover it, but just means the set of options, basically, and simply. And so the MessageBox icon set of options. And the default button represents the MessageBox default button enumeration or set of options. Okay. So he says when a message box is clicked, by a button is clicked by a user, information about the event, the click event, is returned to the point of call, i.e. the point in the code where the show method was called. What is returned is a defined value of the dialog result enumeration. So it's just one of these values, one of these options. Each type of button has a corresponding dialog result value. So we have one of these. Each value is represented in the standard enumeration style, like retry is represented as dialog result.retry. So we can test to see whether that happened or not by using this. Such a return value can be used in a conditional expression. Now we are ready to make use of the fully featured message box. So we saw that we have to put in a whole lot of stuff into the show in order to get this all to work. So this is what he does. He puts all these options in, and then he assigns the result to something called result, which is of type dialog result. It has to be of that type. And then he just tests to see whether the result is okay or not. So if it is, then we want to go ahead and remove and remove. So if the user agrees that they wanted to, please verify the deletion of the customer. If they agree, that is, if they click OK, then we want to, then this result will be equal to this. Actually, that's what gets returned by all of this if they click OK. And so then we want to remove from the array and remove from the list box. And otherwise we want to show please select a customer.